things that you don't hear if you don't, people don't say that stuff. Can I ask you a question, Mr. KLEIN? Going back to Straight Outta Compton, which you mentioned earlier, there is a famous scene in the movie where Eazy E meets with SUGE and some Bloods in the studio, and they beat him up pretty bad. To the best of your knowledge, did that really happen?
Never happened. Eazy never. Listen, Eazy was a small in stature, but he had a lot of guts, boy. And nobody would have beat him up, and there would have been hell to pay if somebody did. Okay, nobody touched him. Okay, he was put in a situation where he had no choice but to sign some releases, but nobody laid a glove on him. Nobody touched him. That's a myth. The other myth is that Eazy in the movie passed out and fell over. It didn't happen. Actually, what exactly happened was, I don't know if you're aware of who the twins are.
Right, the big Samoan guy.
Ronald and Donald.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, John and Jay,
Yeah.
And Jake.
Yeah. So they call me when he's in Norwalk, he's with them, and they call me and they said Eazy's having a hard time breathing. I said, well, take him to the hospital. They said, well, he won't go. I said, well, I don't give a fuck. He goes, if he likes it or not, carry him and take him to the hospital. And that's exactly what happened. They took him to the hospital, they took him to Norwalk, and he was diagnosed with bronchitis. And then he was released. I saw him when he got to the hospital. I came to the house, we talked. And then about a week to 2 weeks later, he was in Cedars-Sinai, and that's where he was diagnosed with AIDS, full-blown AIDS.
So there is a conspiracy out there. I shouldn't use that word because that's a flag word, but what are your thoughts on that whole situation? The misconception, do you believe that the legend is true, or do you believe it's true that Eazy E passed away from AIDS, or do you think it was something else?
No, I believe he died from AIDS. I believe he contracted AIDS. I think the irony of it, I think the problem was, by the time, in my opinion, and I tried to get him the best pulmonary doctor out there, but it fell on deaf ears. And I believe that by the time they treated him for what he had, I think it was too late. Okay. But yes, I believe he died of AIDS. I believe he contracted it. I don't believe anybody injected him with it. You know, he had a lot of women, a lot of girlfriends, and, you know, and it could happen. I don't know how he contracted it, but he did, in my opinion, and what I know, and I've seen all the medical records, he died of AIDS.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I saw him at the hospital, you know, until he was in a coma. I was the only people that did see him. The other misconception is that him and Dre talked prior to him dying, which never happened. Last time I saw Dre was at the hospital when he was already unconscious, and it was because my lawyer called David Kenner and said, you better tell Dre to go see him because you might never see him again. And Dre showed up there, and I saw Dre at the hospital, but at that time, Eazy was already unconscious in a coma.
Did Cube make it up there?
I never saw Cube up there when I was there.
What about Yella?
I didn't see Yella when I was up there either.
Yeah. What about Ren?
I didn't see none of them. The only one I saw up there was because we called him was Dr. Dre.
Okay.
I didn't see. It doesn't mean that they weren't up there. It's not when I was up there.
Okay, I get it. What about who did you sign when you were at Ruthless? Did you sign any acts at Ruthless? I didn't sign anybody. I was there when we signed Bone Thugs and Harmony. Okay.
And after Eazy died, I met a few times with Jimmy Iovine, if you know who he is.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
So Jimmy Iovine asked me who would be somebody good if we wanted to sign from from Ruthless that now they thought Ruthless was going to fall apart and go nowhere. And I suggested to him that he should try and get Will.1X, Will.I.Am.
Oh, wow.
And he did.
As-Band Clan, right? I think that's what they were first called.
Yeah. I mean, Will used to come to me. He was a sweet guy. He used to rap to me all the time. I used to give him a few dollars here and there, but he was a super guy. Very talented. But I signed nobody myself. I was there when Bones were there, and I was absolutely ecstatic about them. They were very talented, but that came with a lot of baggage. There's a lot of stories there that we can leave to another day.
Wow. Wow. Shout out to Bone, one of the greatest to ever do it. Real quick, I'm asking everybody to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you are just joining us, we are joined with Mike Klein. This is a very, very interesting interview, and we're going to keep it pushing. Please hit that like button because that helps the algorithm. And then share. We want this to go viral. This has to go viral. Any questions, Lonzo, or you want me to pick something from the audience?
I'm listening right now. He said everything.
Okay.
No. Cool.
Well, can you talk to us about some of your guys, Mike, your crew? I know you mentioned, I think it was Mike earlier or something like that.
Well, I can talk to you about my guys that people saw, and that was Mike Tourette and Animal and Robert. Robert recently got in a lot of trouble, and he's in jail for killing his landlord.
Okay.
So we're trying to help him out. But these are good bodyguards if you need bodyguards. But like I said, when it comes to security, there's the element that you see and there's the element that you don't see. And the element that you don't see is a lot more important than the one that you do see.
Now,
that's for damn sure.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna leave it like that. Yeah.
And like I said, I don't know if I said at the beginning, but me and SUGE today are very good friends, and I'm doing his life story and his movie.
Back up. Hold on. Back up. You said you and SUGE are very good friends today?
As a matter of fact, he called me from jail today.
Wow. What did he have to say?
Well, you know, we talked. I told him I'm just getting over COVID, and you know, he's want to know how. Like I said, we're doing his life story, death row, and his life story, and we're doing his movie. We just finished the script, and we're going to be going out there. If you Google it, you'll see it.
Okay. So you executive producer, or you finance, or what's your role?
Well, I guess you can say I was the one that got the rights to it, and then put a team together to put everything together, and now we're. Got the script done, and we're shopping it around to do a movie. Lonzo, you can put up the money, and we can do the movie.
I wish I could. Okay, I was thinking of going your booth. Well, the booth put out enough money to make it happen. No, I'm just.
Well, it will happen. You know what they say. It's to be successful, you always want to use other people's money.
You always want to use other people's money.